Hmm. Creepy old footage from real giant dinosaur. Oh my god. Look at this. This looks like those stuff from the
If you have
movies,
a
man.
PC, you need to try this. Did you know that if you go to your PC and press the Windows button and search for CMD and run it as administrator, then type win-git upgrade, hit the enter button, press yes and enter, then type win-git upgrade dash all and hit enter button, and this will upgrade all the software on your PC to the latest version.
Huh. Oh, I don't know about that.
Are you a pilot?
Yes, sir.
One question.
Okay.
When you descend in the air,
Yeah,
do you dip or do you go straight?
it's straight.
Straight?
A little more with the nose up. That's it.
But straight. You don't dip
yeah.
into the...
No.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate
You're
you.
welcome, sir. All
Have
right.
a great day.
I want to show you one of the most effective ways to completely destroy somebody who doesn't believe in evolution, and you don't have to do anything other than point out their own words.
Natural selection selects, doesn't create anything. You can select rabbits and get brown rabbits, gray rabbits, white rabbits. You're never going to get a green one. Why aren't there any green rabbits? They would blend in good with the grass. You talk about escaping predation.
You hear stuff like this all the time. Why can't elephants fly? It would be better if they could fly. How come antelope don't have wheels to try to escape predators? This says nothing about whether or not evolution is true, because anybody who understands evolution at all knows that it's about trade-offs, and you can experimentally prove that as well. However, it completely destroys the argument of intelligent design. Yes, I agree. Rabbits would blend in better in a green environment. Therefore, they were not intelligently designed, because if they were, they would be green, like you just said they would be. I mean, these people build the nails to seal their own coffins, and it's hilarious.
Oh my god. Let's see this. This looks like some life hack and oh, definitely. You see, that's interesting and pretty useful.
What are you doing? Okay. Thank you very
Yeah, the teacher are patient frozen shoulder or shoulder dislocation after the recovery. What exercise should you do? Okay, essential frozen shoulder, when you recover, you know that 90 degree you can up, or now the 90 degree you can up. I will teach you some exercise to strengthen that. The first thing, I want you to hand together. Let's say you get on the right hand, I want you to bring your left hand up. Like this, walk into it's okay. You put how many times? 1, 2, like this up. But after 5 times you feel better, I want you to lift up into into it's okay. Slowly in, yes, into is okay. 3. Okay, when this one 5 times ready, I want you to in and slowly up like this. Or you can do roll up or up like this better. Now slowly follow your left hand strength to pull your right hand up until this level. After this one done already, then the next one I want you to do, touch your hip. 1, up, 1, up, 1. Just remember, for the frozen shoulder, never put your hand at the back. This one will be slight and very easy to impact the leg. And also for the dislocation region, this one easy to dislocate again or interrupt the nerve. So we could again. Remember, always two hand, up, close, straight, up, and down, up. Okay, so this is not good. Let's say you have a note, this one, and you have to take a foot like this. 497, 537. Okay, now what can you do is to straighten back this one side and back muscle, especially at night. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Oh, that's interesting.
X50 pour la pose de ta main. Ok. Et il va dire que maintenant le point devient un aimant. Et que les mains il va faire un point maintenant. Il va faire deux fois plus. Trois fois plus. Et puis tu fixes le point et puis c'est tout ton corps qui se détend. T'as le nez qui commence à se relâcher. Au moment où tu vas dire d'abord, c'est toi qui vas relâcher. Et plus la main se rapproche et plus ton corps se détend de plus. C'est quand plus je rapproche la main et plus ton corps se détend et tu vas plonger des fois moins longtemps.
What was the miracles of Solomon? Solomon had the power to control and to command every living creature in this world and in the world we can't see. He had dominion over both dimensions, the dimension that we live in and the demonic dimension. In the Quran, it even says that he was building his temple and he commanded the demonic realm to dive to the deepest parts of the ocean and to remove pearls and treasures from the sea so he could decorate the temple with it. And these beings would go literally to the bottom of the ocean in a millisecond, in the flash of an eye, and bring him back these jewels. It mentions the Queen of Sheba in the Quran, where he sent for her to come to his kingdom, and he said, which one of you, and he's talking to the jinn, the demonic realm, and he tells them, which one of you will bring me her throne by the time she gets here? And then one of them boasts, I will. And within the blink of an eye, this throne appears in Solomon's kingdom. So that when Queen Sheba comes, she sees her own throne there. She's like, how is my throne here? And then she realizes she's dealing with Solomon, prophet of God, had power over both dimensions, bro. This is why the occult has always obsessed with Solomon.
Ah! Oh my god, did you know that guy was that perfect? Oh! Let's see, when this dog, people living with money in exchange for meat. Oh, and oh my god! You see, this dog went to search for some leaves to come and buy some meat. Oh man! See, now this is very sad because these animals copy this from us, and they see how people just to be rewarded, you have to give something. You see, it should not be like that always. Sometimes you can just share willingly without expecting some reward. You see, just some good vibes gesture, and the world could be a better place. You see, even these animals could now copy like stuff like that. Imagine if they knew we were all good vibes people with positive intentions, and that would be so nice, man. And these animals would really reward us, good people. Oh, see how this dog was happy.
Out exactly how this client and his soulmate planned and practiced how to meet each other and find each other in this life. We also hear about what might have happened if they chose differently, didn't listen to their intuition, and completely missed the signs. We're back reading from the book Journey of Souls, and this is a fascinating case where a soul describes exactly how he and his soulmate practiced meeting each other. So this client is sharing with Dr. Newton everything that happens when he is a soul in the spirit realm attending this life prep class, where he and other souls who are going to impact each other in the life are practicing and implanting memories into their minds so that they recognize these exact situations, these signs, and these circumstances when they happen in a life and they don't miss each other. And we're about to get a bird's eye view into exactly what it felt like when this person met their soulmate. Dr. N. Okay, now tell me, what is the most important recognition sign that you must remember from this prep class? S. Melinda's laugh. Dr. N. Who's Melinda? S. My wife-to-be. Dr. N. What is there to remember about Melinda's laugh? S. When we meet, her laugh is going to sound like tiny bells, chimes. I can't really describe it to you. Then, the scent of her perfume when we first dance, a familiar fragrance. Her eyes. Dr. N. So you're actually given more than one trigger sign for your soulmate? S. Yes, I am so dense. I guess the prompters thought I needed more clues. I didn't want to make a mistake when I met the right person. Dr. N. What is supposed to trigger her recognition of you? S. Grinning. My big ears. Stepping on her toes, dancing. What we feel when we first hold each other. Now it gets really interesting because Dr. Noon is actually exploring what could have happened if these two souls never met and if this client had ended up staying with his high school girlfriend. Dr. N. When you and Melinda came to Earth and were young, did you live close to each other? S. No, I lived in Iowa and she was in California. It was Claire that I knew in Iowa. Dr. N. Were you interested in Claire romantically? S. Yes, I almost married her. It was close, and that would have been a mistake. Claire and I weren't right for each other, but going together in high school had become a habit. Dr. N. And you left your hometown for California? S. Yes, Claire didn't want me to go, but my parents wanted to leave our farm and move out west. I liked Iowa, and I was uneasy about moving and torn over leaving Claire, who was still in high school. Dr. N. Was there a road sign, a flag of some sort, which helped you make the decision to move with your parents? S. It was my sister who waved the red flag at me. She convinced me that I would have more opportunities in the city where my parents were planning to go. Dr. N. And is Claire one of your soulmates? S. More a friend, just friends. Dr. N. Was leaving Claire hard for you? S. Oh yes, even more for her. We were attracted to each other in high school. The infatuation had no real mental connection. It's so hard on Earth to figure out what you're supposed to do with other people. Physical attraction is a big trap. We would have grown bored with one another. Dr. N. Was the physical attraction different with Melinda than what you had with Claire? S. When Melinda and I met at the dance, there was a strong physical attraction of her body, and I guess she liked the way I looked too. But we both felt something much more. Dr. N. I want to get this straight. Did you and Melinda choose your male and female bodies in the spirit world deliberately to attract each other once you reached Earth? S. To some extent. But we were attracted to each other on Earth because inside our minds was the memory of what we were supposed to look like. Dr. N. When the time of the dance rolled around, what happened in your mind? S. I can see it all now. Our tutor was helping Melinda and me that night. My idea to go to the dance was sudden. I hate to dance because I'm clumsy. I didn't know anybody in the town yet, and I felt stupid, but I was guided there. Dr. N. Had you and Melinda scripted the dance scene together during that spiritual prep class? S. Yes, we knew about it then, and when I saw her at the dance, alarms went off. I did something very uncharacteristic of me. I cut in on the man she was dancing with. When I first held her, my legs were like rubber. Dr. N. And what else did you and Melinda feel at that moment? S. As if we were in another world. There was this familiarity. It was so weird during that dance. A knowing, without doubt, that something important was unfolding. The guidance, the intent of our meeting, our hearts were racing. It was enchantment. Dr. N. Then why was Claire in your life earlier as a complication? S. To tempt me to stay on the farm. One of the false trails I needed to get past. Another kind of life. After I left, Claire found the right person. Dr. N. If you and Claire had taken the lesser trail together and missed your sister's flag, would that life have been a total disaster? S. No, but it would not have been as good. There is one main course of life we choose in advance, but alternatives always exist and we learn from them too. Dr. N. In your lives, do you ever make mistakes and take false trails and miss the flags in the road for a job change or moving to another town or meeting someone important because the details you saw at the place of life selection or in the recognition class were not implanted firmly enough? S. The signs are there, but sometimes I overrule my intuition. There are times in my lives when I change directions because of too much thinking and analysis, or I do nothing for the same reasons. Dr. N. Ah, so you might do something other than what was planned in the spirit world. S. Yes, and it may not work out as well, but we have the right to miss the red flags. I get a lot of questions about the concept of predetermination in the spirit world versus free will here on Earth. And so, yes, although we do plan out the major overarching themes and the major overarching situations that we hope to accomplish in the life, once we get to Earth and we forget all of that, like the soul said, we have the right to miss the red flags. We always have free will, so we can choose to ignore our intuition. We can choose to do nothing. We can choose to move in a different way, and we have the right and accountability to choose differently. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we're making the wrong choice or that our life will therefore not be as good as what we planned, because this whole experience is about learning. And as we all know from experience, sometimes we learn best by doing things the hard way. If you have a strained or difficult relationship with a parent, this case is for you. This next case in the book Journey of Souls by Dr. Michael Newton goes over a client who came to Dr. Newton specifically for a past life regression because he was very angry about circumstances in his life. This person's mother left him on the steps of a church as an infant and abandoned him. And he was later adopted by two parents who were extreme disciplinarians. This man grew up and in turn became an extreme disciplinarian as the owner of a company. He believed his employees were disloyal and intolerable, and his solution was to just increase discipline and start firing people. This man also had 2 failed marriages and was an alcoholic. How this scene plays out is absolutely fascinating, and this is one of my favorite cases in the book Journey of Souls. So this man is under hypnosis, and Dr. Newton is taking him back to the day that his mother left him and abandoned him on the steps of a church. Dr. N, you are now a baby in the first week of life, and your mother is seeing you for the last time. It doesn't matter that you are a baby because your inner adult mind knows everything that is going on. Describe to me exactly what transpires. S. I'm in a basket. There is a faded blue blanket around me. I'm being set down on some steps. It's cold. Dr. N, where are these steps? S, in front of a church in Texas. Dr. N, who is setting you down on the church steps? S, my mother is bending down over me, saying goodbye. Dr. N, what can you tell me about your mother's reason for leaving you? S, she is young, not married to my father. He is already married. She is crying. I can feel her tears falling on my face. Dr. N, look up at her. What else do you see? S, flowing black hair, beautiful. I reach up and touch her mouth. She kisses me, soft, gentle. She's having a terribly hard time leaving me here. Dr. N, does she say anything to you before leaving? S, I must leave you for your own good. I have no money to take care of you. My parents won't help us. I love you. I will always love you and hold you in my heart forever. Dr. N, what happens next? S, she takes hold of a heavy door knocker. It has an animal on it and bangs on the door. We hear footsteps coming. Now she is gone. Then things get really interesting. Dr. N, all right, Steve, now let's go back to the time before your birth into this life. Tell me if you have ever lived in another life with the soul of your birth mother. S, yes, I have. Dr. N, was there ever a particular life you lived with this soul on earth which involved any sort of physical or emotional pain between the two of you? S, after a moment, the subject's hands grips the arms of his chair. Oh, damn, that's it. Of course. It's her. Oh my, it's the same person. A different body, but she was my mother then too. Dr. N, stay focused on the scene. Is it day or night? S, broad daylight, hot sun and sand. Dr. N, describe what is happening under the hot sun in the sand. S, I am standing in front of my temple before a large crowd of people. My guards are in back of me. Dr. N, what are you wearing? S, a long white robe and sandals. I have a staff in my hand with gold snakes on it as a symbol of my authority. Dr. N, and what is your authority? S, proudly, I am a high priest. Dr. N, and what are you doing in front of your temple? S. I am on the steps judging a woman. She is my mother. She is kneeling down in front of me. There's a look of pity and fear in her eyes as she looks up at me. Dr. N. How can her eyes show both pity and fear at once? S. There is pity in her eyes because of the power which has consumed me in taking so much control over the daily lives of my people. And there is fear too for what I'm about to do. This disturbs me, but I must not show it. Dr. N. Why is your mother kneeling on the temple steps before you? S. She has broken into the storage house and stolen food to give to the people. Many are hungry at this time of year, but I alone can order distribution. The food must be measured out carefully. Dr. N. Did she act against some rule of food rationing? Was this a question of survival? S. There is more to this. By disobeying me, she's undermining my authority. I use the distribution of food as a means of control over my people. I want them all to be loyal to me. Dr. N. And what are you going to do with your mother? S. With conviction. My mother has violated the law. I can save her, but she must be punished as an example. I decide she will die. Dr. N. How do you feel about killing your own mother? S. It must be done. She's been a constant thorn in my side, causing unrest among my people because of her position. I cannot govern freely with her here any longer. Even now she's defiant. I order her death by banging my staff on the stone steps. So in a past life regression, after you view the past lives, you go into the spirit world, and there the higher self comes through and gives a soul perspective on the life. So in this next scene, the client is in the spirit world talking about and making plans for their next incarnation. S. It's Eon. She wants to be my mother again. Dr. N. Is this the soul of the woman who was Harum's, that's the name of the high priest, and Steve's mother? S. Yes, she is. Oh, I don't want to. Dr. N. What's going on? S. Eon is telling me it's time for us to settle things, to be in a disordered life as mother and son again. Dr. N. Why did you and Eon wait 4,000 years before discussing a balancing out of your treatment of her? S. Earth years mean nothing. It could have been yesterday. I just wasn't ready to offset the harm I did her. She says the circumstances are right for this exercise now. Dr. N. If your soul joins with the body of Steve in Texas, will Eon consider this karmic payment for your debt? S. My life as Steve is not supposed to be punishment. Dr. N. I'm glad you see that. So what is the lesson to be learned? S. To feel what desertion is like in a family relationship. Deliberate severing. Dr. N. The severing of the mother and son bond by deliberate action? S. Yes. To appreciate what it is like to be cast off. Okay, so did you guys catch that? As Steve in this human life, he hated his life. He had so much anger and resentment against his birth mother, against his foster parents, against his employees, against everybody in his life. He blamed everyone else for this, not knowing that on a soul level, he chose it. But in the spirit realm, on the soul level, when you zoom out and look back at the life from the perspective of the higher self, there is no judgment or condemnation the way we do as humans in our life. He literally says, my life as Steve is not supposed to be punishment. And he acknowledges that the purpose was to learn that lesson. The purpose was for him to feel on the other side of what it feels like to have a severed relationship with his parent, because in that last life, he completely offed his mom. And we see this in the next part of the conversation. Dr. N, when you are on Earth, does your soul mind always know the reason why certain people who influence you positively or negatively are significant in your life? S, yes, but that doesn't mean the person I am in that life understands what my spirit knows. That's what we should be able to figure out on Earth. Dr. N, which is what we're doing now. S, yeah, and I'm cheating a little with you helping, but it's okay. I can use it.
When the interviewer asks you, what are your salary expectations, do not give them a number. if you are currently making 50, for example, and you're hoping for 60 grand, whatever you do, don't say, well, I'm currently making 50 and I'm hoping for 60 grand, because they may be paying 60 to 90 and you just shot yourself in the foot by telling them that you would take the lowest end of the range. Instead, you say, when they say to you, what are your salary expectations? You say, what is the range of the position, or what is the position paying? They will most likely give you a range, or maybe even they push back on you and say, well, we really need to know what you need to make in order to put you on to the next round. And if that's the case, you say something like, well, I need to know the range before we move forward, or I'm sure your range will be something I'd be amenable to.
Where's your baby? Hi, Miss Florence.
The December 22nd incident just became an annual event, and unfortunately, that's not a good thing. And a lot of you don't know what this event was, which you're lucky. However, since this trend is making a comeback, I think it's important that we talk about the true history of the December 22nd incident. For context, approximately 1 year ago, to this day, millions of TikTokers opened up TikTok to the For You page, and what they found shocked them. For many of us, we started our day scrolling on the For You page, and it was actually normal, until we started seeing hole pics. Booty hole pics. But it didn't stop there. As we scrolled, we were seeing more than just the genitals of thousands of other creators. While the initial shock to most of us was the fact that we were seeing corn, the aftershock and highly misinterpreted reality was the fact that this shouldn't be on the platform. This was also around the time that TikTok was popularizing the slideshow format, and people were finding ways of sneaking in noodles, and while it was shocking, no one really caught the true dark reality of the situation. Now, why was this allowed on the platform in the first place? Well, a lot of people have misinterpreted completely wrong answer to this. Some people state that a lot of moderators for TikTok took the day off. They were actually told to leave for holiday break. When in reality, a lot of these videos were uploaded did not initially violate community guidelines because they were leveraging something called algorithmic detection avoidance. Now, this comes in many different forms. One of them, which is popular, is called algospeak, which is something I've been using this entire video. Noodles, corn. I can't say those real things out of risk of this video being taken down for shocking content. Now, the videos that stayed up the longest and the ones that were not deemed in violation of community guidelines after thousands of people reported them was because the people who were uploading these sensitive videos were actually finding ways to obscure the true image. Essentially by changing the opacity, the placement, and even the size down to like the size of a pin of these photos, a lot of people were getting away with posting these videos. Now, what is the true dark truth behind this? And why is it pertinent to the trend that is happening right now, the anniversary of the December 22nd incident? Well, a handful of the people who participated in that trend last year decided to upload pictures that were not of themselves. There were many boyfriends or ex-boyfriends who uploaded photos of their current or past girlfriends, making it revenge porn. On top of that, there were other pictures that you couldn't discern the age of the person being uploaded. Meaning for the handful of those posts, there was a very high probability of it being CSEM, CSAM. If you don't know what that acronym is, please Google it. It's very important that you know it in order to protect people, not only on this platform, but the people who were exploited. The majority of these videos were eventually taken down, and we thought it was the end of it, but no. Flash forward a year later to today, where we're seeing this trend return, and we're seeing lots of things we wish we didn't see or we know shouldn't be on TikTok. There are two distinct workarounds I'm seeing people use. One is them flashing the photo at very low opacity for like a fraction of a millisecond. That way it can be the thumbnail of the video, however in the video you can barely see it. Or two, you're going to see this trend in a slideshow format where people are going to be posting the same photo over and over and over, and you just scroll and it doesn't seem like anything's different. However, on one of those slides, let's say it's a stock photo of a house for a realtor agency. People are going to take those photos that should not be on TikTok, they're going to shrink them down and make them really hard to see, and they're going to place them maybe in the windows, on the lawn, in the sky. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm an adult. If I see something like that, of course I'll report it, but it's not the end of the world to me. However, I'm always thinking of the people that are on this platform. Legally speaking, people 13 and up can be on this platform. It's not necessarily a kid's application anymore. Please let me know your thoughts about this in the comments. However, there's one thing that I have to leave you with, and it could be considered a hot take, but I just need to say it. The majority of these videos are people uploading photos that they do not own. They're not of them. And a really unfortunate thing that I saw just due to gross interpretation of these trends was a lot of my friends or people who are in the sex work industry were being thrown under the bus, demonized, and trash talked. Please note that the majority of these posts are made by people who are uploading photos that are not of them. In fact, they're taking photos from other websites that they don't have intellectual property or license over. And the vast majority of those people who had their photos taken for this trend, they wouldn't upload it to a site like TikTok. They would have it on a gated site, meaning you have to be 18 up to actually view that content. So don't take this as an opportunity to once again, on the anniversary of this incident, dehumanize, trash talk, or ruin the lives of someone who happens to be a sex worker. While they will be brought up in this discussion as the discourse expands, because I'm sure it's gonna happen, for the next week it's gonna happen. Please be mindful not only of them, but your impulse to actually go after them and ask yourself why you're doing it and why you're not actually mad at the person who uploaded those photos. Okay, thanks for watching.
What's up, good vibes people? Thanks for watching up to this far, man. Keeping up to this far is a gesture that you're definitely a good vibes person. And you see from all those videos that has passed, it's clear that people even think differently all over the globe, man. You see, leave a comment there on what you think about those videos and hit the like button. Watch till the end, man, and spread some love. Good vibes all day. Let's keep watching.
Oi! Get out. Out. Be gone. Leave those eggs alone.
Hello.
We are going to be seeing, we already are seeing, a rise in fakeness. And you could say that this is AI, you could say that this is technology, you could say that this is changing the way that you look artificially. You could say this is all kinds of different things that's happening physically. So it's important for you to always be asking yourself if this thing makes me feel more like me or if this thing makes me feel more not like myself. It's literally that simple. Does this thing make me feel more connected to myself? Or does this thing make me feel more disconnected to myself? As we move into these next few years, we all know already that technology is going to become very, very difficult for us to be able to discern if it's real or if it's not. I've already seen tons of different AI videos of different celebrities. And if you're not paying attention, if you don't know about AI that much and you're just scrolling past, you might really think that that's the real celebrity promoting some product. And then the web pages that they create really looks like Facebook or really looks like some other website that's very professional when all they're doing is scamming you for your money or your information. And there's really no website and there's really not that celebrity standing behind that thing. But this is only going to be getting worse. these technologies are going to be getting so advanced that, like I said, it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out if it's real or not. But the point is not for you to figure out if it is real or not. The point is not for you to figure that out. The point is for you to ask yourself if it feels more like you or if it makes you feel less like you. That's it. It doesn't matter if it's real or not, actually, because everything that's happening on this screen is not real. Everything that's happening on this screen is kind of like it's happening in an alternate reality or an alternate dimension. Because even my videos where I'm talking, you're only seeing me talking for about 2 to 3 minutes. You're not seeing all of me. You're only seeing 2 to 3 minutes of me. And the same goes for any video that you're watching, okay? So when you're seeing things and they're eliciting some sort of response inside of you that's influencing you into doing something, it's not about figuring out if it's real or fake. It's about figuring out how it makes you feel about yourself. And on that note, I no longer perform or do any readings of any kind at all. None. I don't have them anywhere on my website, on social media. You are not able to schedule a reading with me anymore. So if anyone is asking you if you're interested in a reading or telling you that you need a reading for whatever reason, your dead grandma's trying to contact you, or this your spirit guide has a message for you, that's not me. I will never message you. I follow no one. You can look at my following, it says 0. So I'm not following you, I'm not messaging you, and I also don't offer readings anymore. So use your discernment. If somebody looks like me, if somebody has videos of me speaking, it's not me. This is my only account, and I will never message you. And when these people are messaging you, telling you what they're telling you, or even commenting to you in my comments with a profile that looks like it's me, all you need to do is ask yourself how this makes you feel. If it makes you start questioning yourself on, is this real? Is this something I really need to do? It's not for you. If it's making you feel good about yourself and leading you back home to yourself, that's the only answer you need.
Равняйсь! Смирно! Вот, теперь можно идти.
You may have heard of divine forgiveness for humanity, but did you know that according to the book of Enoch, there is no divine forgiveness for angels? Check this out. In the book of Enoch, Enoch returns to the angel Azazel and tells him that the Lord has denied your request and there shall be no forgiveness for the sin which you have incurred. It even goes on to say that the angels were put in bonds, and I will say that their punishment is nothing short of brutal. I won't get into it fully here, but I often ask myself, what is up with this? If angels are beings of light and some sort of mystical, perfect spiritual being, then what is going on here? Are these actually angels we're talking about? Is this merely some sort of mythology from the past? What are we actually dealing with? And why is this so different from the commonly held beliefs about angels? The book of Enoch is a great example of how people in our past used to believe that angels could procreate with humanity, and in fact that this was something that was actually interwoven through our entire biblical canon, the idea that there's some divine line from the Lord of the Bible that runs through the entire Bible, and the angels allegedly messed that up. I'm Cub. Follow for more in the series.
Christmas is about celebrating Jesus, who is Jewish, yet isn't celebrated by Jewish people. He's only celebrated by non-Jewish people who are worshiping a guy who was Jewish, who is definitely not the same religion as them, his non-Jewish followers who worshipped him. So if he was alive today, he wouldn't be celebrating the holiday that celebrates him because it's against his religion. He'd be celebrating Hanukkah, which means his followers who are celebrating him would be praying for him to accept himself into his life so that he could save himself from his own religion, which is obviously wrong for him, according to his followers. And that's the spirit of Christmas right there.
What is going on in the Middle East is that the Jews should just go back to where they came from.
England realized more, though still insufficiently, the vital importance of Jewish population in Palestine for British interests, and it was the Jewish task to deepen that realization. April 1st, 1935. What does this say? Involving a scheme whereby 100,000 German Jews may immigrate to Palestine and other countries. Oh, what's the date? January 30th, 1936. Same page. Sales restrictions on land. And then down here, it even says that a democratic government should be established in Palestine, that Jewish immigration should cease completely, that all sales...
And we carried out the empty dish. Why? Just practicing? Well, it's just about empty. The practice run did not help.
Yeah, man, how do I get up out of here, man? I ain't gonna... Okay, let me use this board right here. This board is about 2 raccoons long. This'll work. Let me bring it over. Y'all give me 1 second and y'all can have the garbage can. Give me 1 second. Let me see, put it right here. Okay, will this work? Let me look over here, though. I need to put it on that side. This ain't gonna work. It's just slipping on me. Okay. I need a vertical, like that. I need to be able to... Oh, dang, I ain't close enough. All right. Man, it's kind of heavy. Let me flip it over my head a little bit. Pick it up. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh, dang, I almost had it. Give me 1 second, y'all. I'm almost out. Okay. All right, there you go. All right. Let me climb up out of here. All right, there we go. All right. Man, it's like the great escape, but I think I got it, y'all. Okay. Whew. All right, I'm out, y'all.
Just because you bigger than me, Larry. You ain't stronger than me, Larry. Put him up. Put him up. Come on, Miss. Oh, okay. Oh, you gonna sneak me like that? Okay. All right. Take some of this, Larry. I'm stuck on my back. Help me, Larry. Okay, I'm up. You know what? Showtime! Can you let me up right quick, man?
Oh, that was very nice, man. Thanks for watching up to this far, lovely people. Good vibes to you, man. Much love and blessings on your way. Keep it tuned for another fire episode coming in. In the meantime, share out to those around you. Good vibes, man. Bye bye.